Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Olivia. Hope everyone is having a fantastic day today. Something that I want to talk about today is that, hold on, is that me, I'm a very empathic, and display a lot of empathy. My heart gets involved very quickly, very fast. And something that I have had to learn a lot in life, well, recently, within the past couple of years, is that I need to not be so much of a fixer, but be more of a thinker. Being a fixer, trying to help people through their situations and whatever people are going through, their problems, what they're suffering from, anything. It is such a good idea. It seems like it's a good idea. And your heart is in the right place, but a lot of people don't want to be fixed. A lot of people just simply want a listening ear. They want encouragement. They want someone to help them process stuff. They want all those things to help them solve their problems, but necessarily don't actually want someone to actually fix their problems. And it is okay to offer suggestions. It's okay to offer advice if people ask for it. But when you try to fix every single problem that people are going through and they're suffering, I feel like it leads to a very unhealthy relationship. Sometimes you need to let people figure out things for themselves, even if they do it differently from how you would do it. And you may see some pros and cons or mistakes that they make, or you're like, I wouldn't do it this way. You have to let people make mistakes. You're going to have to let people take responsibility for whatever decisions that they make. You're not their mom, you're not their dad, you're not, and it's just not your job to continue to save people from themselves and fix their situations that they themselves may not even want to be fixed. And I realize this because a lot of people can become very resentful when you keep on trying to fix every single thing in their life. And people could also become very dependent on you if you continue to be this fixer in people's lives. If you keep trying to fix things for them, when you continue to rescue people from themselves. And what I have realized is that sometimes a lot of people don't want their problems to be fixed, they just want encouragement. They just want a listening ear. They want someone that is going to maybe help them process or think, but that necessarily don't want actually the problems to be fixed because they themselves wanted to fix it themselves, figure it out on their own. And like I said, I have realized that you can care for a lot of people, you can help a lot of people, your heart gets involved, you empathize with people, but that does not mean that you need to carry every single thing that people are going through, because then it becomes hard on yourself because you're carrying not only the things that you're going through, but you feel like it's your responsibility to carry what everybody else is going through. And you experience a lot of burnout. You are continuing potentially to be flowing from a cup that is an empty cup, or pouring from a cup that is draining or is losing. You barely got anything to pour from. And you may feel exhausted, you feel fatigued, you feel tired, burned out, like I said, because you are holding on to things, to other people's problems, other people's mistakes, other people's issues, and the things that they're going through, when it's not your responsibility to hold on to those things. And it's just not sustainable. You can't continue to live a life like that. And like I said, I have realized that maybe, you can offer, you can observe, you can listen, you can give encouragement, but that does not mean that you need to absorb everything that people are going through. And supporting someone does not mean that you just don't take supporting someone, giving someone encouragement, listening to someone, helping someone process something, being a thinker, does not mean that you are a fixer or you take responsibility for their whole entire life and every decision that they make. Because in reality, that's not your responsibility. That's why I say be a listener, be a thinker for someone, be a source of encouragement, a safe space, but don't always try to be a fixer for people's problems, because it's going to build resentment in yourself when you don't know how to take a step back, or people make decisions that you wouldn't make, or you give people, try to fix things for people and it doesn't work out, or they go a different route from what you would have done to help them solve their problems. And sometimes you just rob people of the lesson when you continue to be the fixer and input yourself in situations where, and insert yourself into people's lives. You rob people of the opportunity to grow from their mistakes, to grow from their suffering, to grow from the discomfort, to fix their own problems. And you feel as though it's your responsibility when it's really not. And like I said earlier, I'm very much of an empath. My heart gets involved. And I feel when people close to me are going through things, I feel it very intensely. And often feeling as though it's my responsibility to carry some of that weight, or feeling as though it's my responsibility to help them fix their problems or whatever it is that they're going through. And like I said, having to shift my mentality from being a fixer to a thinker, to a safe space, to a source of encouragement, to a place where you have a listening ear rather than me trying to fix the problem on whatever you're going through. And it's just an important thing that I have had to realize and hold myself accountable to, shifting from how can I fix this to what are they feeling, and being a listening ear, like I said, being a sounding board, being a source of encouragement rather than wanting to fix the problems all the time. And one way to do that, like I said, is just accept that this is people's lives. This is not your life to dictate, to take control, to fix what other people are doing, to help people through every single decision that they make. People can navigate their own lives. And we need to allow people to think for themselves through their own challenges, or fix their own challenges or their sufferings or their problems. Just because it's going to give them the confidence that they know how to handle it on their own, and just the belief that they can handle it on their own. It's not your responsibility to solve other people's problems for them. You can provide them a source of encouragement. You can listen to them, a space for them to think, for them to process their feelings. But also, you want to continue to safeguard your own feelings and set boundaries in your own energy, observing, listening, but not absorbing what people are going through, so that it becomes an emotional burden for your own self. Shifting from solving problems for people to just be providing an empathetic space, a safe space for them to relax, to have a listening ear, to hear words of encouragement, but not take on the responsibility that, oh, it's my responsibility to fix your problems for you, when it's not. Also, it allows people to handle their own challenges on their own. And through this, it's not going to be easy. You're going to have to embrace discomfort. It's going to be very uncomfortable, especially when you're so used to helping people, because your heart gets so involved. You want what's best for people, and you don't like to see people close to you suffer. It's going to be very uncomfortable for you to take a step back from that position. You're going to have to accept that you can't control outcomes. You can't live people's lives for them. You're going to have to practice that discomfort, allowing others to learn their own lessons. Don't rob people of their own not outcomes, but opportunities to learn from their own mistakes, learn from their sufferings, learn from their problems. You're going to have to establish boundaries. You cannot save everybody. That savior complex will get you in trouble. Trying to save every single person, but what is the one person that usually gets overlooked is yourself. Let's be real. And it's just not your job to continue to manage other people's problems as if it's your responsibility, when like I said, when it's not. Reflecting on your own needs. Maybe, why do you feel such an urge to help so many other so help what excuse me why do you feel like there's an urge to be a fixer? Why do you feel like there's an urge to solve other people's problems? Why is that? Is that a reflection of something that you went through in your own past, or anxiety, stress, something that you have witnessed? You want to save other people because maybe yourself hasn't been saved. Save other people, save other people. because, like I said, you yourself was never saved. I don't know, just ask yourself those questions. Why? Those introspective questions. And when you stop being a fixer and you let people just handle stuff on their own, and you're a thinker and you're a source of encouragement for people, you're a listener, you're a safe space, it it is going to create a lot stronger relationships for people, because you will become a safe space for people rather than someone who continues to lecture them, or who is always a fixer, who is always doing all the work for them. Like I said, when you do that too much, when you do that, people become very resentful. People become dependent on you, and it's just not a healthy relationship that can continue to be established and can continue to thrive and grow. And when you kind of take a step back and you just are that source of encouragement for people, you're that thinker, you're that listener, not a fixer trying to fix everything that's in people's lives, you're going to have a lot of reduced anxiety and stress, because you don't have all this stress of not only your own life but other people's lives on your shoulders. You don't feel that you're responsible for fixing every single thing. So because of that, you let go of all that pressure, all that anxiety, all that stress. So I'm just saying that what I'm trying to say is that I hold myself accountable to, and I'm aware of. Give people that you love, people, your loved ones, people that are close to you, a safe space to think, to feel seen, to feel heard, to feel loved, to feel encouraged, to feel like someone is listening to them. But also at the same time, you have to protect your own well being, establishing boundaries, protecting your own emotional and your own mental health, so that you don't feel weighed down and burned out and resentful. We just need to allow people to work through their own issues without trying to solve them for them. Just be a listening ear for someone, just be a source of encouragement for someone, just be a safe space for someone. Do not get weighed down trying to fix a person or fix people's problems when they're not ready for you to fix their problems, or just when they themselves aren't ready to fix their problems. Just be a source of encouragement for someone. They may not want to fix their problems, or they just may want a listening ear. I know a lot of people just want to, like I said, want to feel seen, they want to feel heard, they want to feel loved. They just want to feel like someone out there really cares for me, listens to me, is a source of encouragement. Be that for someone. Don't always want to try to fix people's problems, especially when they themselves may not ask. That's not what they're asking for. They're asking just for a source of encouragement, not for you to fix their problems for them. So be a cheerleader. Be someone, um, a shoulder to cry on, an encourager. Um, be a sounding board. Be a friend. Be a listening ear. Be a thinker for someone. Help people, but don't try to fix people's problems for them. And just don't fall. It's just not your responsibility to continue to be a fixer for other people's problems. You can empathize and sympathize with people, but it's just not your responsibility, because then leads to emotional burnout, resentment, because they don't do stuff the way that you wanted it to happen. Just like I said, be a friend, be a source of encouragement for people, but don't be a fixer. Sometimes people don't want that. They just want a listening ear, and just be that for people. But that's all I have to talk about today. Hope everyone is having a fantastic day today. Um, yeah, I'll see you guys next time.